Okay, so have you ever noticed how many self-help books are like, just think positive? As if a kale smoothie and good vibes are all it takes to, like, solve all of life's problems.
Right, right. Like, it can't be that easy, right?
That's what we're diving into today, the work of Tomislav Budak.
Oh, interesting.
He actually argues that most therapies, even the ones that sound kind of out there, they're still just scratching the surface.
Yep.
They're dealing with the symptoms, not the root causes.
So it's kind of like if you have a plant that's wilting.
You don't just keep watering the leaves.
Exactly. You've got to check the roots, the soil,
Just getting enough light.
Exactly. And Budak, he's been doing this research therapy, all of it, for over 30 years. He says we've got to apply that same logic to ourselves.
And this isn't just some theory he came up with, after a good cup of coffee one morning.
Right.
This guy had a full-on enlightenment experience.
Wow.
Which apparently wasn't all like rainbows and bliss.
Oh.
It actually kind of threw him for a loop, led him down this whole other path.
So it sounds like this enlightenment, while profound, it wasn't some sort of instant cure-all.
Not at all. It actually brought up a whole new set of challenges for him.
It's like he got a glimpse behind the curtain, and it completely changed his perspective. Fascinating.
And that's what led him to this whole understanding of human problems.
So no magic pill, no quick fix.
No. This is about going deep, uncovering those root causes, even if they're in dimensions we can't, like, see or touch.
Okay, so he's going beyond the physical.
Way beyond. And he has this analogy, he calls it killing the messenger.
Okay.
Like when someone tells you something you don't want to hear, but instead of dealing with the message itself,
Right.
you
Yeah.
just lash out at the person who told you.
Yeah.
He says that's what we do with our problems. We attack the symptoms without ever really investigating what caused them.
So treating the symptoms is like shooting the messenger. I see. So where do we even begin to look for these true causes he's talking about?
That's where things get really, really interesting. Because Budak's work, it goes into those subtle, often overlooked dimensions of our being.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, our energy, our consciousness, even the energetic dynamics we have with other people.
Energetic dynamics.
Yeah, so he's suggesting there's a whole lot more going on beneath the surface.
Okay, I have to admit, this is a little out there for me. When you say energy, you're talking about like vibes, like auras and chakras and all that.
It's funny you should say that because that's exactly what he talks about, but not in that, like, mystical, esoteric way.
Okay.
He's talking about them as very real, measurable aspects of who we are.
So go on.
Think of your aura as this kind of energetic field that surrounds you, like your own personal atmosphere.
Like an energetic atmosphere.
And it reflects your internal state. So if
Yeah.
someone says you've got a bad aura,
Maybe it's not about some like mystical curse.
right, maybe you just need a good night's sleep and a green smoothie.
Makes sense. And the chakras, he talks about those too, right?
Yeah, he sees the
Predictive.
chakras as these energy centers within us.
Energy centers.
But they're not just some new age concept. He links them to specific glands, nerve bundles in the physical body.
So there's a physical component to it as well.
Exactly. He's saying these energy systems, our aura, our chakras, they're all connected to our overall well-being.
Okay, that's interesting. So how do our relationships play into all of this? You mentioned something about that earlier.
This is where Budak makes a pretty bold claim. He believes that our relationships,
Okay.
specifically the energetic dynamics we share with other people,
Okay.
they're a primary cause of our problems.
Wow, our relationships, really.
He even uses the term toxic bonds.
Toxic bonds, that sounds intense.
So toxic bonds, how does that even work? Is it like having a friend who's, kind of an energy vampire? Like you hang out and suddenly you're exhausted.
Well, it can feel like that, but it goes
yeah.
deeper. Remember those energy centers we were talking about, the
Yeah.
chakras?
Yeah.
Budak says that when we're close to someone, we create these energetic cords.
Cords.
Yeah, like energetic links that connect us through our chakras.
We're literally like linked up.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
And these connections, they're powerful. They could be a source of like love, support, real connection.
Mm-hmm.
But Budak says they can get out of balance.
Out of balance how?
Like when one person's constantly giving more energy than they're getting back, that's when those toxic bonds can form.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. It's like, I'm thinking about some people in my own life. It's not just about feel emotionally drained. There's something more going on. So it's like this energetic imbalance can actually impact us in all these different ways.
Exactly. Budak says those toxic bonds, they can show up as all sorts of problems, like chronic fatigue, anxiety that seems to come out of nowhere, even physical health issues.
Hey, really? Physical problems too?
He says it can weaken your immune system, make you more likely to get sick. It's like all connected.
So what do? Become hermits. Never get close to anyone again.
No, that's not the answer. Budak's not saying we should all become lone wolves. He actually thinks healthy connections are super important. But we have to be mindful of the energy we're sharing with other people and learn how to create healthier dynamics.
So it's less about, like, cutting people off and more about setting up some boundaries, energetic boundaries. Is that even possible?
Absolutely. Budak actually gives a lot of techniques for transforming toxic bonds. Things like becoming more aware of your own energy, setting clear intentions in your relationships. You can even visualize those cords being cleansed and balanced.
So it's about taking control of our own energy. Instead of just letting things happen, we can choose how we want to connect with people.
Exactly. And it's not just about other people either. Budak says our own intentions, even our creativity, that plays a big role in all of this too.
Our intentions, so like what we focus on, what we're putting out into the world, that kind of intention.
Exactly. Budak believes that our intention, it actually has its own force. Like what we focus on, what we truly desire, it creates a certain energy.
Okay, so it's kind of like the law of attraction idea. Like our thoughts can influence our reality.
It's similar, but he takes it a step further. It's not just about manifesting stuff.
Yeah.
It's the energy behind those intentions, the energy we're putting out there.
So if we're constantly negative, focused on what we don't want, that's creating a certain frequency.
And attracting more of the same.
Mm.
But if we can shift that focus, if we can cultivate positive intentions,
Then we start attracting more positive experiences. Where
Yeah.
attention goes, energy flows. That's what they say, right?
Exactly. And this is where creativity comes in. Budak doesn't see creativity as some fluffy extra. He sees it as a need.
A need, like we need to be creative for our well-being.
He says we all have this creative energy within us. And when we block it, when we ignore it, it creates stagnation in our minds, our bodies, our energy, everything.
So that inner artist I've been neglecting, that's actually like impacting my health.
It's all connected. Think of it like this. When we're creating, whether we're painting or writing or dancing or even like cooking a delicious meal.
They're tapping into something bigger.
Exactly. We're expressing our unique gifts, bringing something new into the world.
It's like our creativity is our own personal mark we get to make on the universe, you know?
Right. But when we ignore that, when we block that creative energy, Budak says that can show up in a lot of ways.
Like what?
Feeling stuck, unfulfilled. He even says it can lead to physical and emotional problems.
Wow, okay. So it really is all connected. And I guess, like, the more we express ourselves, the more we're in alignment with, I don't know, with our true selves.
Exactly. But here's the thing about all of this, about transforming those relationships, about tapping into our creativity. It takes more than just willpower. We have to expand our consciousness. We have to move past those limiting beliefs that keep us stuck.
So we know what the problems are. We even know what the solutions might look like. But how do we actually get there? It can't just be about, like, trying harder.
No, it's not about forcing it.
Hmm.
Budak says that real change happens when we raise our awareness. He says most of us are walking around with this limited consciousness.
Mhm.
Like we're looking at the world through a tiny little peephole.
We're missing the bigger picture. So how do we, like, widen the view?
This is where it gets really cool. Budak talks about meditation, mindfulness, working with energy, even just spending time in nature. He believes all these practices, they help us tap into a deeper level of consciousness, a level that's connected to our intuition, our creativity. He even talks about something called the star body.
Wait, the star body? Now we're going full-on cosmic. What is that?
Okay, so imagine there's this, like, cosmic library, right?
Oh.
And it's got all the records of your soul's journey, all the wisdom you've gathered over lifetimes.
I'm trying to picture this.
That's basically what your star body is, this energetic blueprint that holds the key to your unique potential.
So it's like we're carrying around this, like, infinite well of wisdom inside of us.
Exactly. And Budak believes we can access that wisdom. And it can help us heal old wounds, change those patterns that hold us back, even unlock what he calls superhuman abilities.
Okay, superhuman abilities. I'm listening. So this isn't just about, like, feeling a little more peaceful or getting a promotion.
It's about tapping into those hidden talents, that potential that most of us don't even realize we have.
This has been amazing. I feel like we've gone on this incredible journey. Budak's work, it's like personal growth, but with this cosmic twist. So, as we wrap up here, what's the one thing you hope people will take away from all of this?
That you have more power than you think. It's not about looking for external validation or like overnight success. It's about going inward, connecting with that true self. That's where the real change happens.
It's about exploring those hidden dimensions, those deeper connections. It's about the power of our own consciousness. And who knows? Maybe we'll discover a superpower or two along the way. This is your host, reminding you that the journey of self-discovery, it never really ends. So keep asking those questions, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.